Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. I'm George Onibe, as you already know. Of course, always appealing to the conscience of our people, because they must know the truth. They have no choice. And the beautiful thing about it all is that the truth does not need defense. Just let it go. And finally, those who are able to catch up will be liberated. It really does not matter how long. This morning, I want us to look at a message I simply titled, Do Not Fall for the Igbo Unification Project. I promised you we were going to talk about it. Anyoma people, Ikwere people, all the supposed Igbo group, sub-Igbo group, do not fall for the Igbo Unification Project. It's a death trap. But I know you will not understand. Let's look at it first of all. Who would not want to unite? Who would not want to unite? We want Nigerians to unite. We want Africans to unite. We want the global community to unite. But we must be able to understand when this unification agenda is a compulsive one, the one that is created to destroy you. You need to run from it. In every family, in every society, sometimes the issue of disunity comes up. And then segregation comes up as well. But in the end, trying to create a peaceful environment for all to thrive and succeed and prosper, we need to get to a level of compromise where we unite. And then one will begin to ask, why is he coming out to ask his people to be aware of Igbo Unification projects? Let me break it down. It is more than 60 years during the Nigerian Biafra War. And I'm sure maybe Yakubu Gowon will rewrite the history again and tell us that it's not Nigerian Biafra War. Maybe this time it will be Yoruba and Biafra War. But all of them are going to deny their heinous crime against the people. But it's okay. Those people's time is almost up. And so Yakubu Gowon said that the task to keep Nigeria one is compulsory during the war. Why did he say so? Was it the interest of Nigeria that drives him? Why did he say the task to keep Nigeria one, all of us must be involved, which we agree. But what was the mindset? And then later on, Obasanjo restated the same statement. He repeated the same statement. And since then, we believe that the task to keep Nigeria is one. One united Nigeria. One almighty Nigeria. This is the handwork of Thomas Umunakwe Aguyorunsi. And so, Obasanjo or Yakubu Gowon was actually acting on the dictate of Aguyorunsi, who created Almighty One Nigeria. And now, you will see that when we're asking for the unity of one Nigeria, there is more beneath that the eye can see. The unity of Nigeria we're calling for is the unity that will enable us have mutual respect, understanding among one another, allowing everybody to survive on their own way, not to be colonized. I know you are not getting it yet, but let's continue to look at it. It's been more than 65 years or 65 years counting. We have been singing one song, Unite Nigeria. Let us unite Nigeria. Let us unite Nigeria. Why is Nigeria not uniting? And that is the same reason I ask my people, South people, Anyoma people, Okwane people, Ndokwa people, Simili people, Eka people, all of you considered supposed Igbo group. You see this Igbo unification agenda, run for your life. You see, if you go to my comment section, a lot of Igbo Biafra people are happy based on Ibrahim Babangida's new book. But they will continue to write book and let every Nigerian understand that their book is their personal opinion, not what happened. And so if Buhari wake up and begin to confess that yes, they annoyed the June 12th election, it's okay. If rather Ibrahim Babangida wakes up and tell you that yes, the Igbo coup was not Igbo coup, just to gaslight the Igbo man, because this is exactly what the Igbos want. And with discovering that lie, Igbos have a very long way to go. Why, after 60 years, Babangida is coming to say it now to confess? Now let me digress. I have told all of you who are Nigerians that our problem emanated from the creation of the idea and concept called Wazobia. And in one of my broadcasts, I reminded us that the reason we have the privilege to talk today is because Wazobia has not been able to align. And when our pressure gets stronger, they will see no other option than to align. The only area that is not yielding to Wazobia supremacy over the rest of Nigeria is because Yoruba is in power, and Yoruba cannot trust the Igbo. But the Hausa, on the other hand, body language show that since Hausa man is not there, the Igbo is always the stray dog. The Igbo is always the one they will use their head, and they are the one that claim they have sense. And then as Igbo person, that is why we are ashamed of some of you. Babangida now told you that the Igbo coup was not Igbo coup. We already know the truth. I will discuss that in detail in my next broadcast, but I'm trying to bring up something there. You see, after the Nigerian Biafra War, a lot of Nigerians, intellectuals, prominent Nigerians began to write books. Chinua Achebe wrote, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu wrote, Wolon Soyinka wrote, everybody, Yakubu Gowon, all of them that were involved in that war, all of them wrote a book. But surprisingly, all of them in their attempt to tell their own part of the story, two things are involved in all their books, because we have read all of them. All of them mentioned that they fought war. Only one person. Go and look at Ojukwu document or book as what happened during the war. It titles it, Because I Was Involved. Go and look at Because I Was Involved. Ojukwu never talked about the war. But the book was about the war. Why did he not talk about the war? What are you people hiding? Okay, let's move on to the other aspect. The war, all of them wrote books. And their details account regarding the war, all of them are different. So who is actually telling us the truth? Because the earlier we tell Nigerians the truth, the better for every Nigerian. Why am I bringing it up? All of a sudden in a time like this, Ibrahim Babangida wrote his own book. And he told us that the Igbo coup was not actually Igbo coup. And so if it is not Igbo coup, who should be responsible? Because I was taught in Nigerian school, a car grammar school to be precise, when we were doing history then, that the cause of Nigerian Biafra war was as a result of personality clash between Ojukwu and Gowon. And if we were lied to, or this was to be truth, so you are telling me now that because two men want to defend their ego, those people who died, died. Because the last time I checked, a lot of Nigerians died, unaccounted for. But then all the problem that led to the war started with the Igbo coup. And so what exactly, where is Babangida going to? So he could be exonerated? That is not Igbo coup. But like I said, we will look at it in details. Before we come back to the issue of don't fall for Igbo Unification program in their war, because you people don't understand. Let me explain to you why. If the Igbo coup is not Igbo coup, then Ibrahim Babangida should tell us whose coup is it? Is it Chukwumanzogu coup? Are you going to blame it on Anioma people? Or is it South coup? Or is it Niger Delta coup? Or is it Bende coup? Is it Midwestern coup? Whose coup is that? Okay, that should be Yoruba coup. We need to give it a name. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. He went on to say that the purpose of that coup was to kill Tafawa Balewa, who is an Hausa man, and then declare Yoruba man president, Obafemi Awolowo. Who does that? Cockaboo story. So why will a group of Nigerians want to overthrow Awolowo that was almost completely hated in a time like that? Why? A Wolowo that was almost hated by all the people at the pavilion of authority. Who are these people who now want to destroy everybody, kill every tribe, kill everybody, and then want to prove to Yoruba? So Babangida should do well and tell us, for the sake of the next generation, whose coup is it? We shall do that in details. And now you can see how they change lie to suit their narratives. This is how they will deceive you. That is his book. That is his opinion. And he's entitled to his opinion. But then, what was their request? What was all their response in Oputa panel? Why are they deceiving themselves? Now, coming back to the issue of unity. There is nothing anybody wants more than unity. But look at the problem with this Igbo unification unity now. It is like the unity of the European nation. Today, you hear about European nation. They form different cartel and cabal. They work as one. Let us look at NATO, for instance. What is the purpose of NATO? Why did they form NATO? To defend the world, right? To protect me and you. That is why NATO and the rest of them are there, right? And then think again. All of a sudden, Africa was ripe for taking. All the terrorists in that era, you know, they cannot actually come out and talk down on the morals of their father in the name of civilization. Watch the Europeans. They will not insult the morality, the value system of their terrorist ancestors. This is one truth you don't know. And so Africa was ripe for taking. Africa is ripe for looting. And they looted everything lootable. From gold to silver to iron to bronze, they are even still looting. But something happened along the line. They start having conflicts. And so by the time they arrived in Nigeria, France was somewhere in West Africa. English was somewhere in West Africa. The Portuguese were somewhere in West Africa. The Arabian were somewhere in West Africa. And many other countries who were involved in that terrorism, the imperialists who called themselves colonial master. Now, this is what happened. They started having conflict. They started dragging our land among themselves. That was what led to Berlin Conference. And so, they discovered that if they begin to fight themselves, this unity to rob us will not exist. They may end up fighting themselves. And so, in Berlin, they united. In Berlin, they now become United Nation. The question should be, what was the purpose of the unity? They now shared us. France took Cameroon. British took Nigeria. And that is how they shared us. And they said to themselves, we cannot fight over their land because we will lose everything. We have conquered it. Let's share it. They now give us border. And so the purpose of the colonial master uniting in Berlin Conference in the supposed United Nation is not actually on the interest of Africans. Look at United Nation. Look at the World Bank. Tell me all this unity body, the one that is protecting the interest of Africa. That is one of the reasons I say run for Igbo Unification project. It is like the project of Berlin Conference. They want to unite with you and keep you where they want you to belong. And so that when they come for you, nobody will interfere. Nobody, before people know what is happening, you are gone. That is the kind of unity going on in the North, where a cross-section of people from the North will be unalive. And you will not hear it on the pages of newspaper. And nobody is held responsible. Because somewhere along the line, they form unity to the detriment of their people. I know you are not understanding very clearly. And so when somebody is calling for some unity, you need to be suspicious. After the attack on Madagascar and Hiroshima by the Americans, they wrote a resolution that nobody should produce a nuclear weapon again. they now unite. Some countries now unite. Understand how they unite and say, let's sign a treaty. Let's sign agreement that nobody should produce a nuclear weapon again. And many countries signed. But then India understand that the purpose of this unity is to keep those who are in power to remain in power. It was never to protect any country. Because if that is the essence of that treaty, they would not have destroyed Libya. They would not have killed many of African leaders. No. They have the nuclear weapons already. They don't want another person to have it. That was the purpose of that unity that brought about that treaty. But let me tell you what happened. Indians were not fools. And when India was called to sign, India said, no, we will not sign this treaty. Because you already have your own nuclear weapon, and we don't have. And so by the time we have issue, you will bomb me, and I will be defenseless. This unity is to the detriment of my people. Igbo Unification project is a detriment to our people, most especially you, they call sub-Igbo group. And so Indians said no, and refused to sign the treaty. And so they kept quiet. They have united to destroy India. And India moved ahead to develop her own nuclear warhead and tested it because they were not part of that decision. And when they heard that India is testing their own nuclear weapon, that the impact was not strong enough, they mocked India and ignored India. But they didn't understand that India was actually making them to see their response. You think the testing of that nuclear weapon was not as powerful as it is? India knew what they were doing. And so they ignored India and said, don't mind them. They can't even achieve it. Today, India is one of the world power. There are many countries today, if they try India, let America go and fight China now. America, please, go and fight China. And that may be the end of the world. Or America, please, go and fight Russia. Okay, Russia, please, go and fight Japan. So that you understand the true meaning of when two elephants fight. All of us will suffer for it. And so everybody is now respecting themselves. American body language now is not to invade any country like they did in Vietnam. Now, since Vietnam encounter, America does not rush into battle anyhow. You see their body language. And believe me, China is not eager to fight anybody, not Japan. But believe me, they have learned. And like the Israel will say, never again. And so you see, some of the mindset behind the proposed unity that have succeeded has never been for the overall interest of all, but the particular groups and cabal. And so Nigeria, for instance, for more than 65 years, have been calling for unification of this country, or to no avail, because this unity they are asking for is to destroy, is to completely assimilate every other ethnic group that are not Igbo, that are not Yoruba, that are not Hausa. That is Wazobia. This is the bitter truth. And so they wake up one day, a cross-section of Nigerian, no, they wake up one day, the owners of our company, Royal Niger Company, aka Nigeria, woke up one day and divided us into two. The northern and the southern protectorates. They allow the Hausa, that is another study for another day, to control the north, let's assume. Let's say Hausa Fulani for record purposes. And then they gave the west to the Yoruba. I mean, the south protectorate to the Yoruba. But the Igbos did not agree. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, that was when he came. The North did their colonization of unity very well. But there were issues in the Southern Protectorate. Now, let me explain before we proceed. I happened to marry from Benue State. And after I told my parents I was going to marry somebody from Benue State, all I was hearing everywhere is, Hausa, he has married Hausa. They are Hausa. But I told the people who don't know, I said, the Doma people are not Hausa. Even TV are not Hausa. It took a very long time. It was by the time they have access to her and see their way of life, that is when they stop saying that I married Hausa. because Hausa was able to colonize every ethnic group within the Northern Protectorate. But what did they benefit after all this unity? Did they not divide? And now, how many has not divided into? We now have Middle Belt. Middle Belt was part of Hausa before, because that unity within the northern state, be it northeast, northwest, north central, was not based on transparency. It was not on the benefit of everybody within that region. And that is why it failed. It will fail further. But why this unity? Why will you allow it to go to the level where we begin to react before people pay attention to it? Because that is exactly what the Igbos are pushing. But we already know this truth. And then let us come back to the Southern Protectorate. In the Southern Protectorate, the Igbo opposed the Yoruba. Seriously. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe did his job well. He succeeded in demonizing Awolowo, forming alliance with the North. But the colonial master said, no, we don't want this. And then Nigeria was divided into three. And these three ethnic group, major ethnic group, as they said, secured all our life for themselves. And that is how they gave birth to Wazobia. And so the Yoruba are meant to colonize those within the south. And the Igbos are meant to colonize those that are within the east. But less than 3 years, our people were not satisfied. They were not happy. And through plebiscite, referendum, we moved out of the west and the east by becoming Midwestern region. And now in this era, we were supposed to be assimilated completely. We would not have existed. But the unity did not last because only few people are benefiting from it. That is why unity of Nigeria is very hard. Because in the eastern region, every ethnic group there, marginalization is understatement. The only people that try to come out and be relevant in the old eastern region, the number one group were sent back to Cameroon. The Ambazonia, as we speak, southern Cameroon, were part of Nigeria. Because they were political imbalance, the unity could not forge. And after the war, the East was divided. And there is no happier moment for those in the South-South, former Eastern region, than that they were liberated from the Southeast. Why? Because everything has to go to Enugu. Everything must go to Enugu. Anambra people columbied everything to Enugu. It was when problem came. They now remember people like Obiwale, who walked out on them in a conference. Because the unity they are trying to build was not to protect the overall interests of everybody, but to promote a particular ethnic group above the other. And we can't forget easily the philosophical statement of Bob Marley that simply said, as far as one tribe held themselves more superior above others, there will always be war. And then you move to the West. The West at the same time columbied some ethnic group around them. And today, are those Yoruba people in Kogi actually Yoruba? And then people like Showore, are they actually Yoruba? Now, let's assume they are Yoruba. Are they benefiting from Yoruba, somebody like from Ife, somebody from Ogun State? And then when you come to the East, are Ebonyi people actually Igbo? Are they even benefiting from that union? Not to talk of Ikure people. And when you go to the North, how far is those people, TV people, Zakembia people, Ottawa people, how much are they benefiting from the North Alliance Unity project? Absolutely nothing. And so Wazobia, sincerely speaking, feed on the misery of all the ethnic group within their region. And then Nigeria evolve. And then they begin to hear the cry of minority in order to avoid another minority report. And then to checkmate those who are power drunk already. And then they start creating states as they are still trying to create more states, at least to allow other ethnic groups to breathe. That was a way to go. That is the way to go. And then finally, now the Kano brought Biafra agitation. While we are talking about Biafra agitation, they develop different wings of distraction. The religious bigotries. When you hear people like Matthias talking down about religion, one will begin to wonder, are Indians Christian? Why is India not talking down on religion? Because it's not necessary. The Chinese and the Japanese, honestly, they are not Christians. They worship their ancestors. But why would they spend their time, energy, and resources talking about religion? But come to think about it, in the Pentecostal denomination of the body of Christ, most of you would not know that a Chinaman stand out in the league of men of God. They call him Yongin Chu. No Chinese person has condemned him. They have not told him Jesus is fake. They are busy building the future of the next generation. They are busy developing their place. And that is exactly what India is doing. But then you come to Nigeria, you begin to ask, why are these Igbo Biafra people, what are they looking for? Biafra agitation is heating up Nigerian politics on one side by injecting hatred into everywhere, which I'm sure they are happy. And then they bring up religious bigotry, not considering the conscience of other people they violating. We have had war between Christians and Muslims in Nigeria for a very long time, which was not necessary. And then are we going to have war between Umenala and Odenala? They introduce the wing of religious bigotry. And when you see them tell you, the Bible is fake, it is useless, only brainless, it destroys Africa. My brother, look inside that book. There are hidden treasures that if we know how to apply it, we can never be defeated. I call it 1,000 laws of power, not 48 laws of power. Because if you are not greedy, because if you are sensitive enough, because if you are meticulous enough, because if you apply it sincerely, you will see the truth there. But then, they understand why they must destabilize this. This is to destroy the position of Christians in Nigeria. And most of you are falling for them. There are a lot of things that you are not supposed to know. And don't think anybody can deceive you with a lie alone. They must use the truth to lie to you. That is the only time you can believe it. And so they bring up some truth, matters bigger than them, and they destroy you with it. And so they move on religious bigotry. They know I'm a reverend. They know I don't support it. But I will not defend God anyway. I think you see what they are doing in the church now. I need you people to pay attention now to these Igbo Biafra pastors. Pay attention to them. Because some of you will not understand. I do not hate Ndaboski. I see him as a content creator like Nnamdi Kanu. I love the guy. When I listen to his service, I will laugh and almost die. So he's not my enemy. Though recently he wanted to join the bigotry, tribalist bigotry. And then I need you to watch another one, Ebukobi, who is the leader of tribal bigotry. Now, listen to their church service so you understand. When they give as testimony now, one woman will come out in the church, in the house of God, and begin to say, man of God, as I am like this, I want to test my husband before we marry. Because me, I like big cucumber. How can I marry somebody with small cucumber? Man of God, I don't like it. So since I want big cucumber to be tested before marriage, and the Bible says don't test before marriage, what will happen now when my husband will discover his cucumber is a small cucumber? Man of God, what do I do? And some of you are happy, you are laughing. This is not just heresy. This is a practical and open attempt to destroy religion. You didn't make it. And so once they are doing in talking that rubbish, it's even worse than what Matthias and his gang are doing. The Bible says there are things we should not even talk about. There are some attitudes of unbeliever we should not even mention, not to talk of doing them. But when you hear church testimony now, my Oga cucumber is not working again. My Oga cannot hammer again. Inside church, Ikwano. I know the songs of Solomon is there. Why don't you preach the songs of Solomon? Suck the wife of your breast. And all those stuff. Why was it not popularized? Why did Jesus not preach the songs of Solomon? In as much as it is necessary, if they need it, it's not meant for everybody. And that is why the Bible, I think Deuteronomy 32:32 says, the physical thing you see is for you and your children to enjoy. The spiritual thing belongs unto the Lord. Because there are many knowledge you will not find when you apply human wisdom. You will not see God. They open this branch and they're everywhere. Most of you are falling for them. Imagine they say, John chapter 20 verse 30, and Jesus was preaching one day, and one woman came to cry to Jesus, my oga cucumber is too small. Oh Lord Jesus, pray for my oga cucumber to be big. Now, no, say people, 90% of people who get big cucumber, now poverty, they kill them. Big cucumber, big cucumber. How much then they pay you? But that is by the way. But you don't see what they are doing. Let us progress. And then, why they have the religious bigotry? They have the ethnic bigotry. Of course, when I'm talking about bigotry in this instance, the group they say begin to lie. They be lying to them until it becomes true. And then we begin to hear, Abo is Igbo, Ikwere is Igbo, everybody is Igbo. It's okay. But the point is, this unity they are fighting for, we are not benefiting from anywhere. We started complaining. Why is Ohaneze Igbo not representing us? Why is World Igbo Congress not talking about us? Why is Igbo Development Union not interested in us? The next thing they did, they went behind, set up a kangaroo Ohaneze Igbo, and then bring Senate John Mbata. It is okay. That is it. We see all the controversy there. Do you think if they have picking Ohaneze Igbo from Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi, Imo, do you think there will be controversy about that nomination? Because it is obvious this is who they are. Why did they abandon us all those years? And in this era of changing narratives, they want to deceive the next generation of our people. And why we are believing God that they will give us a normal state. They move quickly and then they raise Nedingoku to pass the bill. Why don't they allow us to do our things? Why do they want to dictate from us? And now, their unity is like the unity of the colonial master. If you look at the France, their level of arrogance is top-notch in the whole world. But during colonization era, their policy, unlike the British of indirect rule, was association and assimilation. And those who are Francophone countries were very happy about it. Once you can speak au revoir, qu'est-ce que c'est, bonjour mademoiselle, and all the rest French they try to teach us in school. Once you can speak it, you have visa to France. You are accepted as France citizen. That was unity. You speak our language, you become part of us. But that doesn't make them part of them. And then I would say, after how many years, where is the influence of Cameroon? Where is the influence of France in Cameroon? Aside tax collecting. Is that the purpose of the unity between Francophone country? Where are all the Francophone countries in Africa? Tell me the one that is developed. Are they not the one that are revolting and trying to disassociate with their colonial master? Because the unity they are asking of you, Igbo Unity Project, is like that Francophone France unity project with his companions in Africa. But of course, the British stick to their tactics, indirect rule. They will be using somebody, puppet, to control all of you. But they are the one controlling you. But somewhere along the line, the world is evolving. We know the colonial masters will leave. We know all this heavy taxation in Africa will go. But Africans cannot save themselves until, first of all, we truly save ourselves. And so one day we wake up one day. And then they say, oh, all of you are Igbo. Go and become Igbo. What is the fate of our people? What is the fate of our people? The only unity they have, the only truth they have to talk about us is when they want to use it to make gain. And now let me explain further. There is a Bini man who went to Onitsha to open a shop. He learned how to sell motor pass in one of those markets in Anambra. And when he's done learning, he went to that same market to rent a shop. He didn't get any shop because he's not Igbo. And so many years passed, unable to secure a shop in the southeast of our one Nigeria. And so he used an Igbo friend. That is why we are not generalizing it too. He now used an Igbo friend to secure a store. And before they knew he was a Benin man, he has balance. And what did they do to him? They said, you want to play smart. They boggled his shop over and over after 3 times of boggling only his shop. There's no money to do the business again. And so he left. But this same group of people will soon come on Facebook and show you, look at this Yoruba man. He's an Igbo man. Igbo people show him Igbo. He heard that. Now, that person is Igbo who can speak Yoruba or Hausa. Now see on Facebook, you see, Igbo people, I'm not Igbo. I'm Yoruba. You see, I'm not Hausa. Igbo people show me love, even though, are we supposed to say something like that? But all of them are stage managed. When we were in IPOB, those of you who knew what was going on there, all of a sudden we started seeing one woman. She will say she's Hausa. She speaks Hausa fluently. She was condemning Hausa, appealing to the conscience of the Hausa to consider the Igbo Biafra people. And I believe that woman was Hausa woman. And then one day we were in a meeting. We boy see Igbo. See this woman Igbo. And I asked one of them, I thought this woman is Hausa. So who are you trying to admit? Fellow Nigerians? Or who? There is also a brother, also born in the north, and he speaks Hausa fluently. He was still there. These are contractors. They always have something to gain. And now we have come to an era where we are the one carrying our cross alone as Igbo people. And then somebody wake up. And then he began to parade in our village every day, every night, and telling us that we are Igbo. Did we tell them that we lost our way? Are we quarreling with them? Are we having any issue? What exactly are they looking for? What is our benefit in this Igbo Unification project? You see today, Ebonyi State are victim in the southeast, but you will not understand. I know somewhere along the line, God will deliver them. But let me explain to you why I say so. I need you to look at all the video coming from supposed vigilantes in Anambra and across the southeast. You will see the narrative they are pushing now is that it is Ebonyi people that are responsible for all the criminality going on in Anambra. And this should not have been so. This is uncalled for. Because Ebonyi people have a teeming population of youth who are unemployed and somehow uneducated. So they become the scapegoat for the Igbo Biafra people who are the richest tribe, who are the most intelligent tribe, who are the Alpha and the Omega, who come from Israel, who migrated from heaven, who are the children of Abraham. They cannot accept Ebonyi man easily. And they are there pushing the narratives and changing. If Ebonyi State under their claws all these years is still going through turbulence time, is it our children? Is it the next generation of our people? They are deceiving you. Oh, they are deceiving you. Do not fall for them. For now, all we need to do is go back home, build our political capacity, develop on it. For now, what we need to do is go back home, secure our heritage, uphold our values. Because if you let them do that, unknown gunmen will visit you. That is their value. They have this tendency of killing their own people at ease. Do not fall for them. It is to recolonize us. They are good on their own. And let's assume we are not good on our own. But we are not complaining. Why the desperation in unification? Now, the earlier we understand, the project called Wazobia cannot work anymore. Continue building a true Nigeria. The better for all of us. And why they are trying to, the Igbo Biafra are trying to see to Colombia, Yoruba, and Hausa to still activate the power of Wazobia. We are spectators and we are watching. We know how it's going to end. Either way, we have nothing to lose. I think all of a sudden, Ibrahim Babangida now is telling you, oh, the coup is no longer Igbo coup. Then push it to Okpanam coup. That is where the problem of one Nigeria started. And I know that when we begin to discuss it, we will understand the essence of this unity. And I ask you again, there is Emefiele who is suspected to have stolen Nigerian money. It's languishing somewhere in detention. We are not shouting about it. There is yet another man, Ibori. You will tell me he's a criminal. We are not shouting about it. We have another man who is Uduaga. He suffered in the hand of Economic Financial Crime Agency. We didn't drag Nigerian to anywhere. And I will not remember in a hurry, Alam is here, who even have to dress like a woman to enter Nigeria because of the same financial crime. But then we have somebody like Nnamdi Kanu, and then a lawyer in Nigeria is coming to tell you that all the governors in the southeast are useless. They are supposed to deal with them and tell who Tinubu to ransom to release Nnamdi Kanu. All of them are shouting is their Messiah. And their Messiah is the killer of my people. Their Messiah is the fake drug seller to my people. Their Messiah is the baby fatre in my village. Their Messiah is everything bad in my village. The things we cannot even imagine. The things we cannot even conceive in our heart. They do it in our land. And they brag over it. And when you talk, they activate the power of Nigeria. And now what am I trying to say in a non-share? It is simple. Ikule people, Anyoma people, the supposed sub-Igbo group, we see how they are testifying the unity. Do not fall for them. O many when you boy are attacking here in Riku. All the way done when you are was in the Fulani Ubeni. All they done when you Jenny they check your police record. No money then they are this ransom on behalf of Fulani headsmen. O Facebook akunya nyampia mani o enye ho agbo no na mani when they atono ho ndi Igbo ahụ we mo agbo we say is the agbo we are uniting. Make una get sense. Make una get sense. Igbo unity beggar. Make una get sense. And now let me explain so you understand. There is Zenith Bank. The CEO is Jim Ovia. Does Jim Ovia sound like Igbo? But it's Agbo man. And this Zenith Bank, go and look at the beneficiaries and those charge of that bank. You will see 99.9% are Igbo. And so we don't hate Igbo people. And we know that if Jim Ovia pass on today, that Zenith Bank will end up becoming, Igbo man will end up becoming the asset owner of that bank. We know all these things. Ilumelu and the rest of them. We know all these things. But the idea, you can Colombia some of our people. You will not Colombia all of us. So Igbo Unity Project is Colombia. They will use us and dump us. They have been looking for a way to disassociate from the Igbo coup, to blame it on Chukwuma Kaduna and Zogo. No wonder my brother told me that coup was not actually Chukwuma and Zogo. And I told him, since they have said so, let it be so. Because he could not have been in Kaduna trying to topple the government of the day that has a citadel in Lagos. So something was wrong. And finally, Anyoma people, you are the problem of Nigeria. Because you are the Igbo coup. We shall change the name to Anyoma coup. But for how long are you going to tell this lie? And like I have said, don't fall for Igbo unity. That will be the beginning of our downfall as a people. I'll go to the comment section, hoping that this message will get to my people in good heart. And of course, I love insults. Let me take some tablet of insult. Let's continue from there. Yes, I see Iguabuchi. Good morning from here. I see Babefa. He said they are all writing books to cover their nyash when they are seeing their gray closer. That is just the truth. That is just the truth. If I give you the history of what happened and what Babangida did in Asaba in the name of Biafra War. And so he should have called it Asaba War. Did he include that in his book? And at the end of the day, he's pushing the whole blame to Yoruba. And so we are supposed to rejoice. Oh, no wonder, Yoruba people are chameleon, no wonder. That is what they want us to feel. But he didn't tell us that one of the highest ranking military officers in Nigeria, as at that moment of Igbo coup, was General Ogundikpe. He flew. If Yoruba were to be behind the Igbo coup, why will Ogundikpe flew? Because his life was threatened by a particular section in the military. And come to think about it, Awolowo was not somebody everybody just love. If you love Awolowo today, this is because actions speak louder than words. What he did cannot be contradicted. And so, who? A man that is charged for sedition and locked up by Agbo Yoronsi alongside Adakaburu? What? No, how? Did he call them to the man that said Nigeria is oil and water? Is he the one that you are saying is responsible for Igbo coup? Tell Ibrahim Babangida, we know the truth already. Like I said, the book they write It's their personal opinion. And certainly, they are entitled to their opinion. And so, Igbo Biafra, go and enjoy. Hey, it's not Igbo coup, it's Abo coup. We will take the responsibility. But you will take the responsibility of your own sin. And let's see what that one had to say. Altered. He said, we all know that it is 2027 presidency. They want to use Igbo to push Tinubu out. But of course, that is why when we are seeing all these things, Igbo people think it's a hatred. Of course, their greed is making them pathetic because they are predictable. All of a sudden, Babangida now love Igbo people. And let me ask you as Igbo, whether the coup was you or the coup was not you, did it change anything? What you have suffered because of that coup, will they rewind it? Oh, now we will allow Igbo to rule, right? But are you helping yourself? 2027, we are going to chase Tinubu. I have told all of you. Tinubu is going to be there for 8 years. When Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was there, Obama and the rest chased him out of office. All of you know the truth. Is it not now you are telling us? It's America that sponsored Boko Haram. It's America, but don't you know before? But of course, if it's not your ethnic group, you must support them to do that. And you are uniting with your father. And you want Africa to unite. What a shame. But please, all these insulting people of Nnamdi Kanu, are they not here? I see Isukama, I see George Onyibe, Ibinuma, and of course, you are Igbo Biafra man. You have nothing to say. Just drop insult and move on. You see? Where are they? Igbo people no like truth at all. Matthias is not condemning it. This is Igwe Abuchi. Say Matthias is not condemning it. What some pastors are doing. Yes, Igwe Abuchi is not condemning it, but he's demonizing it. It would have been better he condemned their action rather than demonize it. Oyibo gave us church. The church has destroyed our place. But I'm yet to see any community in Igbo land developed by Omenala. Without the church, I'm sure maybe 90% of Igbo people, including Matthias, will be tying rapper and be doing Nzobu. And I'm sure his name will not be Matthias. Why don't he change his name to Amadioha or Igwe Kana or Ibino Pabi? He's still answering Christian name. Very confused set of people. He that must go to equity must go with clean hand. If Matthias is not condemning it, why is he demonizing it? You think I get their time? It is the power that is bigger than them will judge them. His name is Matthias, one of Jesus' disciples. One of Jesus' disciples. And it has not occurred to him as a love undibu. Tell Matthias to go and change his name. Let him remove Christian name from his name. Because he's a hypocrite. How can I hate the people and answer their name? I am Matthias. Matthias is Yoku Ndibu. Now no get sense. And he want to teach you Ordenala. And he's answering Christian name. The same Christian is demonizing. My brother, we know they patronize anybody. I think you notice I've not talked about them. Because I don't fight for God. But they are deceiving many people. Somebody will come out and say, you see, I have paid for people who have fibroid. I have paid for people who are sick. We have paid for accommodation for many people. But go and look at Oyibo people. Some of them will have family and divide their wealth into among their children and then send the rest to the less privileged. You will not even hear until when they die. Go and look at most of these multi-millionaires. They have written will on how their money should be disbursed in the case of death. And so because I'm doing it as a Muslim, that means Muslim is right. And then because I'm doing it as a Christian, that means Christian is right. Why don't they tell us how many ritualists that is operating? Why don't they tell us fake Omenala? Now let me tell you, Abuchi, what you don't know. You see the next generation of our sisters, don't be surprised. About 80% of them will not be able to have children. Thank God. The artificial intelligence technology is going high. So maybe they will go and be paying lab to carry their baby for them. Because 90% their womb have been taken by Yahoo boys for money ritual. All those who hook up. You think they still have womb? This Valentine alone, don't you see how many of those girls has died in several hotels? Is it not Omenala? Is it not Ordenala? And so what is actually the difference between Omenala and Ordenala? What is the difference between Ordenala and Christianity? What is the difference between Muslims, Hindus, Bandus, all of them Yehudian. After all, nobody is infallible. Focus on your lane and let the rest be. I am here today, not because this is where I wanted to be. I am here today because some people need to get sense. I told Nnamdi Kanu, do not wound the animal that you cannot kill. See, today they are my boss. We will kill you, we will get you, we will blah, blah, blah. That will be the last thing they will do. And by the time they get to that level, another thing will happen. Then somebody will come and rewrite history for us. Abo Kub. Is it not the problem of Nigeria? So that is my point, Abuchi. He is demonizing Christianity. And when we demonize that one, he say, Asaba people, let them open and watch. They are running to Asaba now. Of course, the Asaba of Asaba have asked all the Ezenwanye to leave Asaba. No. Asaba is ready for them. They are Ordinala. The same way they are using Unity Beggar to deceive us. They are using Ordinala. And you people don't see it. They are doing obedient movement. The same people, they are doing Biafra. The same people, they are crying. You are generalizing it. You are generalizing. If you want to kill your mama, you think I won't kill my own. Have I told you the history of my father? Have I told you anything? But the last thing I would do is to disrespect my parents. They've done their part. And I have to do my part. And anything I would have condemned about them, it's just a lesson for me to make sure I do not make the same mistake. It was actually the errors of their way that points me to the true path that I must walk in life. Thank you, Igbo Abuchi, because our culture is not evil. They are the one that is compromising every process. And so, bringing the broadcast to an end, Igbo Biafra, drop your insult. Of course, tomorrow we will talk about Ibrahim Babangida book, because Nigeria need to know, so that somebody have to be responsible. What a shame. If you like, fall for their unity. You can see how much they are investing there. If they invest it on their people, their life will change. But they know, no need of investing on our people. Let's conquer these people. Allow them to conquer you, because you don't have shame. After they tell you it's uncompleted building, it's uncompleted building. I know they ask on ourselves question. Have a nice day.